Rahul fires Parivar attack at Prime Minister Modi.
भविष्य में अमृतकाल के सपने दिखाई दे रहे हैं। पिछले 10 साल में इन्होंने क्या किया है? अन्याय काल। अपने ही परिवार से अन्याय।
India bloc unites as a Parivar.
वे परिवारवाद को लेकर हमेशा टिप्पणी करते थे कि कांग्रेस का परिवारवाद चल रहा है। अब ये परिवारवाद किसका चल रहा है?
Prime Minister leads counter to Parivar politics.
कांग्रेस और इंडी गठबंधन वालों को अंदाजा भी नहीं है कि करोड़ों लोग मुझे अपने परिवार का सदस्य ही मानते हैं। नेने
Modi Parivar war, top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Good evening, you're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita, Nandagopal, and this evening we'll be getting you all the reactions coming in on the Modi Parivar politics that's playing out. After several opposition leaders, and the India bloc has made it crystal clear that this is going to be an issue that they're going to constantly raise repeatedly and endorse Lalu's comment. Prime Minister Modi now in every political rally, whether it was yesterday or today, is countering the opposition on this narrative. We'll also at 6:30 this evening be getting you a special campaign from Bengaluru focusing on the water woes and the unprecedented water scarcity that's gripped the city. First, as always, a look at the headlines. Prime Minister Modi reiterates Modi ka Parivar war cry, says Parivarvad politics are looting the country. Opposition bloc claims Adani is the real family that's looting India. Another Ram storm brews. DMK MP A. Raja Stokes Rao brands Lord Ram disgusting and Ram Bhakts as idiots. BJP lashes out, calls A. Raja's remarks hate speech after Raja called BJP's Lord Ram disgusting. Karnataka pro-Pakistan slogans probe intensifies. Home Minister confirms that yes, slogans raised inside Vidhan Sauda were pro-Pak slogans. Accused Shafi's undated images with Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar emerges. It's called the City of Lakes, but ironically is grappling with an unprecedented water crisis. Residents send out an SOS as government takes over water tankers. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar also bear the water crunch brunt. Bengaluru blast probe intensifies. NIA suspects Lashkar linked to IED blast. Raids in over 7 states to crack down on radicalization. 2 suspects detained. And big setback for Mamata government. Calcutta High Court orders CBI investigation into Sandesh Khali violence and Shah Jahan to be handed over. Trinamool government moves Supreme Court against CBI investigation into the case of the ED officials being attacked. And let's begin by getting you the latest on the political face-off between the BJP and the opposition over Parivar politics. It all started off, of course, with Lalu Yadav's comment saying Prime Minister Modi has no Parivar. And since then, the BJP's turned that narrative on its head, saying every single Indian is Modi ka Parivar, which is why you see a social media campaign also along these lines. You've now got Rahul Gandhi, several Congress leaders who've all jumped into this particular controversy, firing their own taunts, saying it's Adani ka Parivar, Adani whose family is part of the Prime Minister's family, and they are the ones who are benefiting from BJP's politics. So the Prime Minister's countered that by referring to Parivarvad yet again. Let's play out for you all the reactions first in our report.
From online hashtags to the bustling streets, the BJP is taking its Modi Ka Parivar campaign to the masses. Prime Minister Narendra Modi making a direct appeal to the people.
कांग्रेस और उसके साथी मोदी को, मोदी के परिवार को गाली देने पर उतर आए हैं। मैं इन लोगों के परिवार के खिलाफ, परिवारवाद के खिलाफ मैं व्यक्तिगत आरोप किसी पे नहीं लगाया है। परिवारवाद के खिलाफ आवाज उठाता हूं। 140 करोड़ देशवासी ये मोदी का परिवार है।
The Prime Minister aims to draw a clear line between dynastic politics and the democratic will of the people.
इन परिवारवादियों ने अपने परिवार के लिए कोठियां बनाई, अपने परिवार के लिए महल बनवाए। मोदी ने आज तक अपने लिए भी एक घर तक नहीं बनाया। परिवारवादियों ने देश की खदानें बेची, महंगी जमीनें बेची, आकाश बेचा। देश को बर्बाद करने में कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ी।
The BJP's Modi Ka Parivar campaign was sparked by RJD chief Lalu Yadav's personal attacks on the Prime Minister.
नरेंद्र मोदी आजकल परिवारवाद पर हमला कर रहे हैं। अरे भाई तुम बताओ ना कि तुमको क्यों परिवार में कोई संतान नहीं तुमको होगा, बताओ।
This led to BJP leaders and ministers adding Modi Ka Parivar to their social media profiles.
नीच स्तर का बातें कहना अच्छा नहीं है। वो भी राजनीति में इतने सालों दशकों से जो मुख्यमंत्री थे इस राज्य का, ऐसे वरिष्ठ लोग इस स्तर के बात करने से जनता में निराशा होता है।
Congress and its allies tried to turn the tables. Labeling billionaire capitalist as Prime Minister Modi's true family, Congress used the hashtag Modi Ka Asli Parivar to highlight Prime Minister Modi's ties with industrialist Gautam Adani. The opposition aimed to paint the BJP as champions of crony capitalism. Even ally Uddhav Thackeray's Sena faction had a sharp response to the BJP's Modi Ka Parivar campaign.
आपका परिवार है जिसको आपने इस देश का पब्लिक सेक्टर बेचा है, पूरे देश से, चाहे महाराष्ट्र हो चाहे मध्य प्रदेश हो, जो विधायक और सांसदों को खरीदा है आपने 50-50 खोके देकर, वो आपका परिवार। अगर आपका परिवार जो है वो होता तो आपके परिवार में मणिपुर की जनता क्यों नहीं?
As the election season heats up, the concept of Parivar resonates deeply. Over to the voters to decide which vision of Parivar they stand behind. Bureau Report, India Today.
And the Prime Minister once again in Jajpur of Odisha raised this particular issue of the opposition's attack on him. Not just speaking about Parivarvad of the opposition, saying it's their family members and dynasty politics that's bleeding India and that's bled India for the last many years. But he also says that if anyone asks me who my family is, it's all of the people in the crowd. He's been making this his rallying call essentially at every political event now. Here's the highlight.
ये कह रहे हैं कि मोदी का परिवार नहीं है और कह रहे इसलिए मोदी को हटाना है। इंडी गठबंधन के ये परिवारवादी कहते हैं कि इनकी लड़ाई विचारधारा की लड़ाई है। इंडी अलायंस की विचारधारा फैमिली फर्स्ट है, परिवार प्रथम है। मोदी की विचारधारा है नेशन फर्स्ट, राष्ट्र प्रथम।
Not the first time really that we've seen personal attacks flying thick and fast in the run-up to a general election. But we wanted to kind of re-jog your memory of what happened in 2014 and in 2019 and the outcome of that. When there have been personal attacks that then turned into political campaigns. Look, for example, in 2014, when the attack was fired by Manishankar Iyer, where he referred to Prime Minister Modi as a chaiwala in clearly an attempt to kind of make a derogatory comment on the Prime Minister's roots. that was quickly turned around by the BJP into a campaign. They called it the Chai Pe Charcha campaign, which was kicked off by the BJP. 1,000 tea stalls in 300 cities were covered. And this was clearly a message that was being sent across by the BJP saying, yes, the Prime Minister, yes, Modi is a chai wala, and we will have a discussion with the nation upon chai. Now, the next campaign was in 2019 when you had the attack from Rahul Gandhi. This was at the time when there was an entire narrative on the Rafale issue, the Congress saying that this was a scam, and Rahul Gandhi fired the Chaukidar Chor Hai attack on Prime Minister Modi. And this was a slogan he constantly raised at his rallies. The Prime Minister responded saying, yes, I'm a Chaukidar. Main Hu Chaukidar campaign then spread nationwide. It was a rallying call for everyone to come together to be India's protectors. The Prime Minister said, Main Hu Chaukidar, I will protect the country at whatever cost, and accused Rahul Gandhi of insulting Chaukidars with this kind of a comment. Now you look at 2024, the attack that's come in is Lalu questioning the Prime Minister's Parivar, saying he has no family, he has nobody to turn to, even questioning why Prime Minister Modi has never had children. Now, you've got a Modi Ka Parivar campaign being peddled on social media with union ministers, top BJP leaders all switching over and putting the line Modi Ka Parivar on their bio. All Indians are Modi's family. That's the narrative being spread by the BJP with, in fact, this comment by Lalu Yadav. What's interesting is most of the opposition also is backing Lalu on his comment. So expect that in the run-up to the election, this issue and the kind of reactions coming in will only continue to pile up. What we also witnessed today is temple politics between Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi. Before kicking off, in fact, his day 2 in Telangana, you had the Prime Minister visiting the very famous Sri Ujjaini Mahakal Temple in Sikandrabad of Telangana in Hyderabad. Rahul Gandhi, meanwhile, visited the Ujjain Mahakal Temple. He was there for the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra in Madhya Pradesh and visited the Ujjain Mahakal Temple. Prime Minister Modi received a warm welcome by BJP and temple authorities early in the morning. As we've been seeing as part of his campaign for the last many weeks, particularly in southern states where he's been visiting some of the most historic, iconic temples, he visited this time the Ujjaini Mahakal Temple. Meanwhile, you had Rahul Gandhi visiting the beautiful Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain as part of the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra. Those are the images of Rahul Gandhi there with a yellow shawl draped around his neck, seated right by the idol, offering prayers and seeking the blessings from Lord Mahakaleshwar. Interestingly, you see right next to him also Kamal Nath, around whom there's been endless buzz that he was shifting camp from the Congress to the BJP. There was also drama that played out. Rahul Gandhi was welcomed by Modi chants when he entered Shahjahanpur, even at the temple.
राहुल गांधी की यात्रा इसलिए ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण हो जाती है क्योंकि 2018 में राहुल गांधी ने विधानसभा चुनाव से पहले उज्जैन के महाकाल मंदिर से ही चुनाव अभियान की शुरुआत की थी और कांग्रेस ने उस समय सॉफ्ट हिंदुत्व की छाप के साथ करीब 15 सालों का सूखा अपना खत्म किया था। लोकसभा चुनाव से ठीक पहले राहुल गांधी ने भगवान महाकाल के दर्शन करने के साथ ही एक तरीके से राम मंदिर निर्माण में जिस तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरे देश में उतर रही है राम का नाम लेकर के, एक तरीके से राहुल गांधी भी सॉफ्ट हिंदुत्व की छाप के साथ अब उज्जैन पहुंचे हैं। कांग्रेस की एक कोशिश है कि उसके ऊपर बार बार जो आरोप लगते हैं वो गलत है, उस आरोपों को एक तरीके से हटाया जाए और इसके साथ ही सॉफ्ट हिंदुत्व की छाप लिए राहुल गांधी महाकाल के दर्शनों के साथ अब मध्य प्रदेश में लोकसभा चुनाव की एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो न्याय यात्रा के साथ ही आगाज भी कर रहे हैं। कैमरामैन अमरीश के साथ रवीश पाल सिंह, उज्जैन, आज तक।
So on one hand, you have all of these temple visits by every political leader. On the other hand, several netas of the opposition who've criticized the Ram Mandir, including Rahul Gandhi himself. And then you've got the DMK, the Trinamool Congress, all of whom have launched a series of verbal attacks on the Prime Minister regarding the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha weeks after it's happened. You had A. Raja coming out and saying that BJP's Lord Ram is disgusting, and anyone who chants Jai Shri Ram believing in BJP's version of Lord Ram are a bunch of idiots. This is exactly what he said. Rahul Gandhi, meanwhile, accused the Prime Minister of prioritizing Ram chants over addressing hunger issues. Then you have a TMC leader deeming the Ram Mandir an unholy place of worship.
Ahead of Lok Sabha poll, India bloc netas are uniting to target Ram Mandir. On Tuesday, several opposition netas made serious strikes aimed at Ayodhya Ram Mandir. Rahul Gandhi slammed Prime Minister Narendra Modi, taking a Jai Shri Ram jibe.
जय श्री राम बोलो और भूखे मर जाओ இதுதான் ஜெய் ஸ்ரீராம் என்றால்
DMK MP A. Raja triggered a fresh row just a day after the Supreme Court pulled up his leader Udayanidhi Stalin for his comments against Sanatan Dharma.
அந்த ஜெய் ஸ்ரீராமனையும் பாரத மாதாவையும் ஒருபோதும் நாங்கள் ஏற்றுக்கொள்ள மாட்டோம். தமிழ்நாடு ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளாது. எந்த ஜாதி எந்த மதம் எங்க பிறந்தான்? எனக்கு ராமாயணத்தில் நம்பிக்கை இல்ல, ராமன் மீது நம்பிக்கை இல்ல. ஆனால் கதையை சொல்றேன், இதுதான் கம்பராமாயணம். குகனோடு ஐவரானோம், குன்று சொல்வான் மகனோடு அறுவரானோம், ஐயா நின்னோடு 7 பேரானோம். 7 பேரானோம் நம்பினா. இன்னொரு குரங்கை 6வது சோதரராக ஏற்றுக்கொண்ட ராமாயணத்துக்கு பேர் தான் மனித நல்லிணக்கம் என்று சொன்னால் நீ சொல்ற ஜெய் ஸ்ரீராம் சி இடியட்.
The BJP slammed Raja, terming him a serial offender.
It is evident that insulting India's ethos, publicly humiliating Hindu gods, and questioning the very idea of India has become the hallmark of the political agenda of the India Gadbandhan.
The TMC in Bengal also targeted Modi's Pran Pratishta at Ram Temple. Party MLA Ramendu Sinha Roy called Ram Mandir an unholy site, which must be boycotted by Hindus.
মোদী গিয়ে মূর্তি প্রতিষ্ঠা করে তার পূজা অর্চনা করলো। তা আমি প্রশ্ন করছি, নরেন্দ্র মোদী কোথাকার ব্রাহ্মণ বলতে পারবেন? বইটিটা কে দিয়েছিল? আমি মনে করি অপবিত্র এই রাম মন্দিরেতে ভারতবর্ষের কোন হিন্দু যেন পূজা দিতে না যায়। ওটা একটা শপিস তৈরি হয়েছে, ওটা শুধু একটা শপিস তৈরি হয়েছে।
Another TMC leader, Shatrughan Sinha, described Ram Mandir opening as a mere publicity stunt of BJP.
पहले दिन 5 लाख लोग पहुंचे वहां पे अपने प्रचार के बाद, और अभी तो 1000-2000 लोग जा रहे हैं वहां पे, क्योंकि शंकराचार्य जहां नहीं पहुंचे, मंदिर पूरा नहीं है, उस पे आप अपनी पब्लिसिटी के लिए इतना ड्रामा कर दिया आपने वहां पे।
On Monday, the Prime Minister had warned the opposition against hurting religious sentiments of crores of Indians.
करोड़ों लोगों की आस्था का घोर अपमान करना भी परिवारवादियों की एक निशानी है, पहचान है, आदत है।
India bloc leaders have given more ammo to the BJP in the lead up to the 2024 battle, and the saffron camp is making full use of it. India Today.
Let's cut across to news coming in from Tamil Nadu, where there's been a fierce showdown between BJP and DMK over drugs in Tamil Nadu, with the BJP claiming that there's a massive drug crisis and menace. Now news coming in of a drug haul in Tamil Nadu by the Coast Guard. This drug haul has happened in Rameshwaram, not in Chennai. The drugs worth about 108 crores. That's about 90 plus kilos of hashish have been seized by authorities. 99 kgs of hashish drug have been seized. This comes a day after the Prime Minister had raised this issue in Chennai. You've got the Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai saying that Stalin is diverting attention from the drug crisis, that there are attempts right now to not talk about this drug menace, as the BJP puts it. The DMK, however, has responded with a minister also speaking out, saying that drugs are being seized across the country. There's this imaginary crisis being created in Tamil Nadu. Let's play out for you exactly what the Prime Minister had said just yesterday in Chennai.
आप जानते हैं कि तमिलनाडु में सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी के संरक्षण में ड्रग्स ड्रग्स के गिरोह पनप रहे हैं। और जो जानकारियां मेरे पास आ रही हैं वो चिंताजनक है। मुझे आपकी आने वाली पीढ़ी की चिंता है। मुझे आपके बेटे बेटियों की चिंता है। आपको ऐसी पार्टी से बहुत सावधान रहने की जरूरत है जो आपके बच्चों का भविष्य तबाह होता देख रही है, आंखें मूंद करके बैठी है। आप लोग भाजपा को मजबूत करेंगे तो तमिलनाडु के दुश्मनों पर भी कार्रवाई और तेज होगी। और ये मोदी की गारंटी है। इधर मोदी इन गारंटी।
So that's the Prime Minister who raised this issue. The BJP has repeatedly been speaking about the Sinsa Shisha on March 1st. And now this incident in Rameshwaram of over 100 crores worth of drugs being seized off the Tamil Nadu coast in Rameshwaram. We're going to continue focusing on all the political developments that come in on that story. But on the other side, we'll be getting you details of how Bengaluru is right now struggling, battling an acute water shortage. And summer hasn't even begun. An India Today campaign coming your way in just a bit.
Water trucks on the job. The country's leading IT hub down south is facing a shortage of piped water. While summer hasn't officially arrived, scarcity has already hit Bengaluru. Now, it has become an annual struggle in a city of 10 million. With 1 million new residents added every year, the shortage of tap water is attributed to the drought that hit Karnataka last year. Private water tankers have doubled their prices. Groundwater levels have also dropped, drying up the bore wells. The Karnataka government has set aside 200 crore rupees in the budget for drinking water purposes. There are proposals to permit deeper bore wells. Building the Mekadatu Dam is viewed as a long-term solution to Karnataka's water problems. But neighbouring Tamil Nadu vehemently opposes the reservoir project. The state's Water Resources Minister told the Assembly that not even a single brick would be allowed to be laid for Mekadatu without Tamil Nadu's consent.
It remains to be seen if the Congress government in Karnataka will be able to convince its Indi ally, the DMK in Tamil Nadu, for the construction of Mekadatu Dam. With camera person Madhuar, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Bangalore.
About among 14,781 borewells in Bangalore city, 6,997 borewells have been tried. Only 7,784 are being working. I have come with a plan of action. We are taking over all the borewells of Bangalore city. We are identifying the sources. Water doesn't belong to any individual. It belongs to the government. That is the law of this country. So we will see that we are setting up a separate war room in every ward. There will be a registration on the crisis management. There will be a registration, there will be a war room even in the BBMP and the Jilla Panchayats and even the DC.
Yesterday I was told the DCM and in charge Minister of Bangalore has taken a meeting. And he has also, I just read it in the newspaper, that he has taken a lot of initiative to see that this water shortage will not affect public at large.
It is extremely absurd that a person who is facing serious allegations of being the mastermind of the Sharab Ghotala is now going to determine how he will appear, when he will appear, and things which are unheard in law. The fact of the matter is today that the 8th summon has also been skipped by Mr. Kejriwal. The fact of the matter is that if there was nothing to hide, chor ki mooch mein tinka nahi hota, so Mr. Kejriwal would have appeared before the agency. The fact of the matter is that when Mr. Kejriwal was under the tutelage of Anna Hazare ji, he used to say, pehle istifa, then janch. Today, forget istifa, no cooperation in janch because he is under the tutelage of Lalu Prasad Yadav ji. The fact of the matter is that ever since the summons have been sent, he has been making one after the other excuses. First a Vipassana excuse, then an excuse that he's busy in elections, then an excuse that it is a vendetta politics. If this was vendetta politics, why hasn't the court quashed the summons? Why hasn't the court stayed the summons? Why hasn't the court given relief to Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, Vijay Nair, or in the case, why it has not quashed the case? And if it is vendetta politics, the Congress party is saying that there has been corruption and Mr. Kejriwal must answer. So the full aspect is this, that Kejriwal is doing ABCD. A for avoid summon, B for bhag jao from summon, C for cover up of summon, and D for divert from summon. Instead of answering the questions on Sharab Ghotala as to how thousands of crores was siphoned off, how 2.5% commission became 12%, private sector was allowed and given the wholesale, how blacklisted companies were allowed to come in. Why did you go back to the old policy if the new policy was not corrupt? Instead of answering these questions, Mr. Kejriwal only diverts.
India's IT capital parched. Taps go dry in Garden City, Bengaluru.
All in all, I would say the situation is from the decade of staying here, it's the worst that we are seeing.
3 weeks back, and still we are not able to get a full source of water, I would say. So we get like 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening.
Bengaluru's gated societies send out SOS. Even VIPs scramble for water.
We will see that we provide water to very reasonable rate to all the people. We know that we are concerned about it because all the borewells have been tried, including my house borewell also has been tried.
Join India Today's campaign. We demand answers for Bengaluru's water SOS. Bengaluru runs dry, India Today campaign.
It's the same story every year in Bengaluru, but this time worse than ever before. It's not even summer and already there's an unprecedented water crisis in the city of Bengaluru. Many would say that this was bound to happen considering there was in fact a deficit of monsoon. There was a drought condition already prevailing in parts of Karnataka and nobody is really being spared from this water crisis. Those are images on your screens of water tankers being supplied to the Chief Minister's residence. Siddaramaya's borewell has run dry at his house. DK Shivkumar, by his own admission, which you just heard, has said that the borewell in my house has run dry. So every single part of the city right now grappling with this crisis. Mind you, we're talking about India's Silicon City that still hasn't found a solution to this year-on-year water crisis. It's clearly mismanagement. It's clearly encroachment because we're talking, ironically, about the city that's called the City of Lakes, facing this kind of a water scarcity once again.
Taps are running dry in Bengaluru. Even before summer hits, there is an unprecedented water crisis in the Silicon City, Bengaluru. The situation is so grave that apartments are now firing residents who they believe are wasting water.
One of the most plush and top-end apartments in Konankunte in Bangalore is dealing with one of the most toughest water crisis situation that it has ever faced. The apartment management has in fact issued an advisory to all the 3,000 apartments over here, directing them to not use water to clean their cars or even use the swimming pool for that matter. Several apartments in Bangalore are facing such a situation, which is then leading them to be at the mercy of these private tankers who end up jacking up the prices by more than twice.
Residents get water just about twice a day, and several RWAs have now banned using water to wash cars.
There are multiple things which are happening. One is the Kaveri water, which was being supplied at about 8 to 9 lakhs every alternate day, has dwindled to almost 1 lakh liters every alternate day. There is no Kaveri water, there is no water tanker. Where else would a 1,100 apartment like Mandir tank will go?
Water tankers are being regulated by the government now as charges for water are skyrocketing. But a bigger concern looms, that apartments will get no water supply as tankers will be diverted to areas with severe water scarcity.
All in all, I would say the situation is from the decade of staying here, it's the worst that we have seen.
Mobbing of all the common area floors have been restricted to alternate days or even less, and they have asked all the residents who can spare their RO water waste to be kept in a bucket outside the apartment so they can use those waters for these purposes.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has chaired a meet to address the grappling water crisis in Bengaluru. And even VVIPs aren't spared. Siddaramaiah himself is grappling with water scarcity as a tanker was seen entering his residence too.
We will see that we provide water to very reasonable rate to all the people. We know that we are concerned about it because all the borewells have been tried, including my house borewell also has been tried.
The opposition has pinned the blame on bad handling of the Kaveri water crisis that has led to the water woes for Bengalurians today.
Because of misrule of Congress government, they given 5 TMC more than water to the Tamil Nadu. That's why we are facing in Bangalore drinking water problem.
Whatever the water that is available in Hemant or in Kapili, collectively, releasing the order as per the Supreme Court to use the balanced water for the drinking purpose in Bangalore.
Bengaluru, called the city of lakes, is ironically facing this water crisis. While this is a story every year in the city, this year seems to be particularly adverse to Bengalurians, and a dry summer awaits. With Anaga Keshav in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so once again, you see the situation and plight of Bengalurians. And like I highlighted, it's not even summer yet. So you can only imagine how bad the situation is going to get in just weeks from now. Joining us here on India Today to take forward this campaign are our reporters to give you a sense of how bad the situation really is on ground. Sagar Raj is joining us live from HBR Layout. We have Anaga Keshav joining us live from Vajrahalli. I also have with me Mr. S. Vishwanath, who's a water systems researcher, to kind of understand where really the solution lies. Abhishek Agarwal, who is the president of an RWA, Resident Welfare Association in Bengaluru, is also with us to tell us what's the situation right now for Bengalurians. Anaga and Saga, if I can begin with you. Anaga, to you first. Where you are in Vajrahalli, how's the situation there?
Akshita, I'm joined by two residents who are based out of Vajrahalli. One is Mr. Srivatsan VK and that's Kiran Kumar. I want to start by asking Mr. Srivatsan VK because he had some really interesting points to make. Sir, you were talking about how the government taking over private tankers is all just a hogwash. So can you just please elaborate more on that and why you think so, sir?
No, I just say that it is eyewash, completely eyewash, because whichever the ward or constituency, the tanker owners, whoever is there, they are either the ex-corporators or the kin of the corporators or MLAs and their chelas. And in all the wards, the same situation is there. They cannot take any action on them. And the major thing is that now, some time back they have created the garbage issue in Bengaluru. The same way they have created the water scarcity issue. I'm not saying that there is no scarcity of water, but half of that is created by the politicians. And now they are saying 550 crore is released and all. It is not, even in 5 crores they will not spend on water. And they know after 2 months, when 5th stage Kaveri is commissioned in May, they are going to lose a lot of business, because today this water is bread and butter for them, because everybody is having water mafia. So, and all of them is supplying to most of the layouts or apartments or gated communities, and their business is going to go down after May once the 5th stage is commissioned. And they have created this
and
only
so
for making
you
money.
think all of this is just created by them so that they can make the maximum out of it. Mr. Kiran, I want to start by asking you, what are the challenges that you face so far? You reside in Shobha Forest View. Tell us about the major difficulties with the water supply situation that you've been facing, sir.
Yeah, surely. So, see, the problem started just like 2 months back, actually. Earlier, we used to get sufficient water, and the charges were pretty much same across the Bangalore. So, it used to be like anywhere between 550 to 580 rupees per tanker of 600 liters. So, now what happened is that, since the last 2 months, the water, the resource is in basically the ground, the bore wells, they started drying up in most of the places. Then these water tankers, they started demanding more money. Okay, so now, so if you, it's like anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 they're charging. And
this
it is pretty
600
difficult now,
rupees
because,
earlier, and got to now 1,500 to 2,000 rupees, as you tell us. Sagai, just quickly to you, you're from HBR layout. Is this across Bengaluru, or is it certain parts of the city only that are facing a water crisis?
No, it is across Bengaluru, and if you are talking about the water scarcity, think about Sadashiv Nagar, the elite area where your Deputy Chief Minister and almost all your ministers live in that particular area. We are joined with the residents of HBR layout here in Bengaluru, and everybody is on the same page where they claim that there is no water. Even their borewell has been dried up, and they have to shell out more money for the tankers every single day. Sir, how is the situation here in HBR layout? You have a residential area here, unlike any kind of apartment or a society, but still you guys are struggling to get the water.
So we have 3 days, Monday, Wednesday and Fridays. Usually the force is not that much. And we really struggling for get a full water tank, our sumps. And of course the tankers are really in demand, the prices are going up. It's a beginning, just March, right? I think the day zero is not far behind for Bengaluru. That's what I think so.
See, the government was quite aware that during the summer they're going to face the problem because there was a rain deficit. And let us ask the ladies of the house, what are the problems that you face? Because water is the essential part of every single day for you. And if there is a water shortage, how it is going to affect the day-to-day life?
Yeah, it's really going to impact our day-to-day activities. Even today, if the water supply is stopped for 1 day, the sumps are not full, and our daily activities are affected. And going to office and managing this will still be a problem.
How is the situation, ma'am?
Nowadays, it's very worst. It's not... we are not getting sumptuous water nowadays. Only 3 days we used to get. Nowadays we are not getting properly.
Sir, you're part of the committee here. How do you see the situation of the people here, of the residents?
So I think it's a beginning. It's still March, right? So we were getting regular supply till now. So I don't think there was a lot of crisis till now. But I think we're starting to see the problems now. There was a couple of days water did not come. But I think this is still the beginning. So we're still working out what can be done. But I think government is also helpless. I don't think there's water anywhere. So it's a dual problem. I think the residents also have to contribute and say, where are we spending water? Can we save it? I think that aspect also has to be educated, because it's not just about unlimited supply of water. It's not like government can get you water. When there's no water, nobody can help out. So
this is the voice of the people, Akshita, where you have to spend around 500 to 700 rupees per tanker. Now people have to shell out around 1,500. Even if you You pay 1,500, you're not getting the tankers on time. You have to wait for more than 10 hours.
It's
By
now
then,
also been
people are
registered
struggling
with the
even to take
government.
bath
So
at
they're trying to regulate water supply. So based on what the demand is, the supply will be taken care of as well. I'd like to bring in on this broadcast Mr. S. Vishwanath, who is a water systems researcher, as well as Abhishek Agarwal, president of an RW. Abhishek, I'm going to come across to you because there are some worrying reports that suggest that, residents' welfare associations are now levying fines of 5,000 rupees and beyond for anyone who's, seen to be using a lot more water than they need. People are being advised not to wash their cars, that apartments are running dry. What's the truth out there?
Yeah, I mean, some of it, in our apartment association, we have actually strictly advised people not to use, we have a STP plant for flush water. So anybody who's found using the, a kind of a connection to the flush, which is a potable water, then we are, imposing a fine. Other than that, we are doing all we can to reuse the RO water, stopping the car supply, the car washing areas supply. We are struggling from last 10 days. We are getting only 3 hours, we're able to give 3 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. Only good part is that we have STP, which is recycled water, so that at least our flush...
So just about 3 to 4 hours of water is what you're telling me. I'd like to also bring in Mr. Vishwanath on this broadcast. This is a story that we see every single year come up in Bengaluru. So clearly we're doing something wrong. This year, of course, is much worse than what we've seen in the previous years. We've not even hit summer and already there's this kind of a water crisis. What's the solution? What's going wrong? What's being mismanaged so badly that we see this crisis year upon year, Mr. Vishwanath?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why that's happening is because we're not managing groundwater adequately in conjunction with lake water. So it's very important we do that. Groundwater is very under-regulated, under-governed, and unless we bring that into play as part of the solution in a systematic fashion, we'll continue to face these problems in the periphery of the city and in specific pockets.
Okay. There's also this entire narrative that this is a result of bad handling of the Kaveri water crisis. Do you think so? Do you think that if lesser water was given to another state, that Karnataka, Bengaluru would be better off now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Mr. Vishwanath? Okay, we'll get back to Mr. Vishwanath as well. I just want to get in a word from Abhishek as well. Abhishek, is this worse than any other year you witnessed? Are you worried for the summer ahead?
Yeah, we are very, very worried. I mean, I've been living here almost for 6 years. This is the worst in at least March, right? We started from February itself, late February. We have never seen something like this. Out of the 10 borewells, we are only running with 4. Suddenly. So suddenly there is a drop in the borewell yield. The borewells are getting dry. BWSSB is not able to supply even what they used to supply, even the minimum.
But who do you hold accountable for this? Do you believe that the government, the administration hasn't done enough to address this crisis?
I mean, they are doing it, but I think it's required a forward planning it in terms of the Kaveri stage 5, I think is planned to be commissioned in May or June rather. So May, June is a peak summer season. Yeah. So this has to be kind of shifted at least 4 to 5 months in advance. And we know that if the plan is May, June, but I think this summer we may not even see the stage 5 water reaching out to places. So, we pay crores of rupees on property tax every year. I represent 2,000 flats of my association and 8,000 residents.
Okay.
But these are basic necessities which we expect at least
Obviously, water scarcity, I can only imagine how difficult it is for residents. Mr. Vishwanath is back with us. I was asking you about whether this is mismanagement of Kaveri water that's led to this problem, because there are questions about whether, if we ensured lesser water for another state, Karnataka, Bengaluru wouldn't be facing this problem. All right, apologies for that. We'll connect with him once again, and we're going to continue keeping our focus on this very campaign here on India Today to talk about what's led to Bengaluru taps running dry. in this manner. There is a lot of politics over it. The Siddaramaiah government is facing flack and they will be focused on how the government really addresses this issue. They've taken control of the water tankers as well at this point. All right, Mr. Vishwanath is back with us. Sir, if you have me, my question to you is about whether mismanagement of Kaveri water is what's led to this crisis right now.
It's not just the mismanagement of the Kaveri water and the delay in implementing the Kaveri fifth phase, but it's the complete lack of management of groundwater. See, aquifers in Bangalore are crucial because they supply water from bore wells. There's absolutely no body regulating it, managing it, recharging it, and therefore making sure that there's also adequate demand management. So those who are dependent completely on groundwater are starved of it, since there's no filling of these aquifers. Yeah. Currently, many of the lakes which are large and which should have been filled with either rainwater or with treated wastewater are dry, like Bengaluru and Vartur. That means that the borewells in those surrounding areas will be dry. We need to quickly fill these lakes with tertiary treated wastewater, and then we have a solution for the problem.
It comes down to the same problem of corruption, of encroachments, and Bengalurians paying the price for bad planning. Mr. Vishwanath and Abhishek Agrawal, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. I'd also like to thank Sagai and Anaga for getting us those voices from the ground of what Bengalurians think. Like I said, this is a story that we will continue to focus on here on India Today. With months to go for summer, Bengaluru already struggling. Ironically, the city of lakes has no water today. That's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks very much for tuning in.
कि जो भी जिम्मेदारी है उसको ईमानदारी से पूरा करेंगे और जो भी जिम्मेदारी मुझे पहले भी रही मैंने ईमानदारी से पूरा किया, आज भी जो जिम्मेदारी मिली है मैं ईमानदारी से पूरा करूंगा। पार्टी संगठन का सरकार का जो भी निर्देश होगा उस दिशा में ईमानदारी से काम करेंगे और इस क्षण के लिए मैं अपने केंद्रीय नेतृत्व को, देश के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी को, पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष माननीय नड्डा जी को, देश के सबसे गृह मंत्री माननीय अमित शाह जी को, उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी को और पूरी टीम को मैं तहे दिल से उनका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि जो दायित्व उन्होंने सौंपा है मैं ईमानदारी से पूरा करके इतनी लगन से हम लोग से लग जाएंगे, काम करेंगे कि उत्तर प्रदेश की 80 लोकसभा सीटें जितवा करके देश में जो लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया हमारी पार्टी ने 400 के पार करके फिर नरेंद्र मोदी जी को तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनाने का काम करेंगे।
जी, मैंने जब राम मंदिर का जो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा महोत्सव आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की हाथों से हो रहा था, उस समय जो न्योता दिया गया था राम जन्मभूमि ट्रस्ट की ओर से, तो एक स्टेटमेंट करके वो न्योता डिक्लाइन कर दिया गया और जनभावनाओं का अपमान किया गया। ये बताता है ये इंसिडेंट कि आज की जो कांग्रेस में जो लीडरशिप है उनके सामने उसको